Welcome back, my favorite game developers. In this video, we've added a small point in the middle of our screen. And that's it. Well, no, actually, as you can see, we've just shot a very accurate bullet. So if you remember, before we created this video, when we shoot at a certain point in our world, the bullet just goes wherever it wants. But now, when we shoot, it goes exactly where we want it to go. So now we have much more accurate bullets. So let's not waste any more time and let's get started. Okay, so first thing we are going to do is we're going to create a crosshair in the middle of our view. So in here we want to create a small little button in front of us in order to have a point to point at. So in order to do that, we are going to be creating an image in front of our player. And in order to put an image in front of our player, we want to create a canvas. So let's go ahead and do that. In our hierarchy, we right click, we go to UI, and in here we can choose to create a canvas. So now we have a canvas right here with an event system, and this event system allows us to push certain buttons on our canvas. We can simply child it to our canvas. Now, where is our canvas, you might be asking? Well, this white huge line is our canvas, and if we double click on it, you can see that this is it. And you might be wondering, why is it so big? If you look closely, this is our little playground and this is our canvas. And whenever we want to be changing things in canvas, it's better to go and press the 2D right here. So when we press 2D, you can see that we can handle canvas much easier. Now, why is canvas this huge? This is a way for Unity to add images and things and easily modify them by making them this big. But don't worry about that, because let me just show you why. If we right click on canvas, go back to UI, and let's go ahead and add an image. So you might think that this image will be huge, but in fact, if we look in game, you can see that this is the image and it's actually a very small looking square. And this represents what will be rendered on the UI in front of us, and we'll be using it a lot later on. Now, before we start changing our image, we need to go to the canvas. We need to make sure that in canvas, instead of the canvas scaler being the constant pixel size, we want to scale with screen size. And in here, we can change the reference resolution. And because we're playing in the 1920 by 1080, we're going to do the same in here. So 1920 by 1080. And click on enter, and now we have our canvas always set to this resolution. Okay, great. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the image that we have in here. We are going to double click and we'll call it the crosshair. And we want to make it a tiny circle. So we can go in here into the source image. We can click in here and we can actually change how our little image in here looks. So we're going to choose to have it as a knob. Oops. So as a knob, it's a circle. And let's go ahead and make it smaller. And before we do that, let me just dock the game view right here so we can see it. And the way we make it smaller is we hold one edge, hold down Alt, and then scale it down, and it will scale from all directions. And now you can see that it's much smaller. So let's go ahead and make it even smaller. Make sure that its position is always at 0. We don't want to be putting it on the side. We want it to be always at 0 right here. So 0, 0. And of course we want it to be a circle. So let's go ahead and make it maybe 25 by 25. So, and finally, let's change the color and let's make it black. So now in our game, let's see how that looks. Nope, I think it's still a bit big. So let's make it 12 by 12. Okay, so save that. This depends on your preference. If you want, you can even not make it a knob, you can make it a square if you like. So it depends on you, and you can make it as big as you want. So we hit play, and now we can see that we have this point right here. But as you can see, the bullets don't exactly go where we want them to go. They go flying off somewhere into the distance, and actually it's not as accurate as we'd like to have our bullets. So how are we going to change that? Well, we are going to be creating something called a raycast. So what is a raycast? A raycast is a ray that is cast from a certain position of your choosing. If you hit a certain collider in your world with the physics.raycast, it returns a true. So you should be immediately thinking that we are going to be using this inside of an if condition to check if we hit any collider. And let's explore the structure of a raycast. So raycast, first of all, has an origin, and it's going to be the starting point of our ray. We also have the direction of the ray. So just like we choose the direction of our fire point, the direction of the velocity of our bullets, we can also give the direction to the ray to follow in. We have the information that we get from that ray. So whenever we hit a certain collider in the world using this ray, it actually returns information about this ray, and this is going to be very important for us in the future. And we can also add a max distance to the ray that travels. So let's go ahead and create a raycast. So first of all, we want to go to our player, and inside of shoot, whenever we actually hit the mouse button, we want to check for a raycast. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a variable that is of raycast hit type, and we're simply going to call it hit. Now we are going to create an if condition that checks for a physics.raycast, and in here, first of all, we're going to choose the origin. So what will be the origin of our raycast? Well, it's going to be my camera head dot position. So because we have our crosshair right in the middle of our screen, and the middle of our screen is actually the direction in which our head or the player's head is looking at. So let me put the canvas right here and make it smaller. So the position right here will be the direction in which our head or the head of the player is looking. So it's going to be the origin. Next thing, we need to choose the direction. So it's going to be the my camera head dot forward, and we'll need to create this out hit. And what out means, we didn't cover that. So what out means is that it puts out the information of the raycast into the variable hit that we've created up here. And finally, we need to add a max distance. Let's just make it 100 for now. Maybe we'll change it later on. And before we continue on, we just want to make sure that we have everything set up correctly. So we're going to create a debug.log, and this will print things to our command line. And what we want to be printing is we just hit, and in here we are going to take the hit or the object that we've hit with our raycast. We're going to access the transform, and we are going to get the name of it. Let's save that, and let's go back into Unity and see if that works. So now when we hit play, let's see, for example, if we hit the plane, we can see in the console that we just hit the plane. And now if we hit this cube, I'm not sure what the number is on it. So when we hit the cube, it hits cube 2. Let's see, is that really cube 2? So where's our, oops. Let's go out from 2D, double click on game cube 2, and yes, it's working. So now you can see that we are hitting different objects in our world, and we actually have information about these objects. And this will be very crucial later on as we move through the game, because we want to know whether we're hitting an enemy, an ally, a big enemy, a small enemy. And as you can see, whenever we shoot in the air, we actually don't get any response, because at a certain distance this does not work. Okay, great. Now, next thing we need to do is we need to actually make the direction of our fire position look at the center point. So that way we will be able to actually direct our bullets to the crosshair in the middle of our screen. Let's go ahead and do that. So back in our code, in here, instead of simply printing things, we are actually going to take our fire position and we are going to be looking at it. So we have the look at, which rotates the transform, so the forward vector points at the target's current position. So this is exactly what we want, because as you can see, the bullet is going towards or in the direction of the fire position rotation, and when we look at a certain object, the fire position will turn its rotation towards that. So this means our bullet will go in that direction. So now we take the hit, and in order to access it, we can actually use the point, which the impact point in the world space where the ray hit the collider. So we'll use hit.point. Now again, before we move on, we cast a ray cast from the camera head position in the camera head.forward direction. We get the information from the hit, and it has a maximum distance. When we do get a hit position, we use the fire position to look at, which means we rotate towards the hit or the position on which we hit with the ray cast, and we get the point, which is the exact point where our ray cast hit. And then when we have the fire position looking at this point, we will actually instantiate our bullet, and it will be very accurate. Let's save that. And now back in our game, let's hit play. And now, as you can see, if we want to shoot at this position, if you look closely on the bullet, you will see that it actually goes to that exact same position. So now we have a very accurate gun, but there's still a small problem, and that problem is what happens when we shoot up in the air. So if there is no ray cast, what will the bullets be doing? And the problem here is, now you might think that, okay, no problem, the bullet will just fly away on its own, but sometimes this will create a lot of errors, and we want to avoid that. So back in our game, in here, we're going to use the else. So this means if we don't get a true value, so we don't hit anything, else we want our fire position to be looking at my camera head dot position, and we're simply going to be adding a bit of my camera head dot forward times 50f. So let's say we hit a ray cast, we don't register anything, so we have nothing to look at. So either we look at the hit point, or if we don't find anything, we are going to be looking at the camera head dot position, and we're going to be adding to it in the forward direction, just above the player at a certain direction. And now if we go back to our game, this might not look as obvious, but in the long run, it will be much more evident. So as you can see, the bullet still disappears behind the crosshair. And now we have a very accurate bullet. Okay, great. So now we have accurate bullets. We make sure that if we don't have a certain hit position, we still have a direction to fire at. But there is still one small problem that may cause us, well, more problems in the future. So if we go closer to a wall, you can see that the bullet, instead of hitting a wall that should be in front of it, it actually also moves towards the center of our screen. And this is a bit cumbersome in the future when we'll start adding effects to our game. It will cause us a lot of problems. So we are going to face them before they get to us. So in here, when we cast a ray cast and we actually hit something, we want to check for the distance between the camera position and the hit point. And if it's greater than a certain threshold, Then we'll look at the position. So in here, we are going to create an if condition and check for the distances. Now, how do we check for a distance? If we go in here, we have the vector3 dot distance, and it returns the distance between 2 points, which are A and B. And what we want to check is the distance between my camera head and the hit point, and that is actually part of your challenge. So your challenge is going to be to calculate the distance. First of all, check for the distance between the camera position, which is my head, and the hit position. And then if it's greater than a certain float, which I'm going to go with 2f, use the if condition we learned in order to actually look at under only this condition. So pause the video right now and go do the challenge. Okay, welcome back. So if condition, we're going to access the vector3 dot distance, and we're going to use my camera head dot position, and the other value is going to be the hit dot point. And if both of these, or if the distance between these two is greater than 2f, then, and let me teach you a small trick in here. If you want to move this line up or down, simply hold down Alt and use the arrow keys, hit tab, and it will go into its position. So let's make this a bit cleaner. So now, only if the distance between the camera head position and the hit point, or the point at which the raycast hits, is greater than 2, then we will be looking at. Else, we will simply be shooting the wall. So let's get back in our game. Let's hit play. So now our bullets are still accurate, but when let's take a look down, and when we hit, you can see that the bullets don't directly go to the fire position, and they actually get destroyed before they get there. And the further we look up, you can see that they then become accurate when they are at a far enough distance. So great, now we have very accurate bullets. We are firing them at the appropriate distances. In the next video, we are going to be making our shooting much more exciting by adding particle systems. So I'll see you in the next one.